How to get better at selling on Amazon. It's a skill. It's a real skill. You go to college, you acquire a skill, ideally. Some people don't. You go to do an apprenticeship, you acquire a skill. You want to become a tattoo artist, you do a lot of tattoos. So to get better at selling on Amazon, first you need to just see it for what it is, which is that it is a skill that can be acquired. And so what are the variables that make up a skill? When I want to play a guitar, here's a beautiful guitar, by the way. I love showing these off. When I want to play the guitar, I must first understand some basic music theory. If I hit certain notes, they work well together. If I hit the wrong notes, it doesn't sound very good, right? And so a lot of people are just hitting the wrong notes when it comes to Amazon FBA. And by the end of this video, you're gonna understand some of the basic Amazon FBA music theory, if we could put it that way, and what notes you should be hitting and shouldn't be hitting. So let's just get right into it with the first one being that the customer that you're selling to needs to be defined, and why they're buying needs to be understood. And so we make this mistake all of the time. I use this example in a recent video of mine where it's like, if you're selling a sound bowl, then you need to understand what the customer is using it for, and that if you're just going to sell the standard 2.5-inch brass bowl with a mahogany piece of wood, a little piece to rest it on, then whatever the going rate for that is in the market, maybe it's $14.99, $19.99, whatever it might be, you're competing in that range for everyone who wants that basic model. Why then would someone spend $100 for a sound bowl? Well, maybe they own a business and they do sound baths for people. That's a completely different customer than the person who just read an Alan Watts book and now wants to buy a sound bowl. Okay, so when we're looking at where we stand in a market, where we're supposed to be competing, it is all only in context, only in relativity to who we're selling to. And so there's certain markets where customers are in pain. They need to get out of this pain quickly. I saw a product recently, real example here. It was like a fish food for vacations. Fish food dispenser for vacations. Really funny, specific product. And I looked into this, had whatever, couple thousand search volume. And I went to look at the conversion rate on average for that market, which is, we'll be getting to this soon, but another quick tip right at the beginning of the video, looking at the conversion rate, how people are behaving as part of what the customers are doing and how they're behaving. It was like 25%. I don't think I've ever seen a conversion rate this high. And I was like, how could this possibly be? Why is this so high? And I'm like, oh, they're going on vacation. Their fish is going to die if they don't feed it. They did not think about this, and now they're probably leaving next week, and so they must order something. They have to solve this problem. You cannot take the fish with you, and you probably don't want to let the fish die. So in certain situations, we kind of have our backs up against a wall as customers. We're like, hey, get me out of this. Okay, get me out of this situation because no alternative is good. I need to spend money to solve this. Okay, so customers in pain spend money to get out of that pain. Now, do they spend the most money? No, I've actually found that customers who are enthusiastic or have a passion towards something spend more money. And so we're going to bring it back out. Well, let's bring out another little guitar here. It is literally a little guitar. So this guitar is like $2,000. Okay, it's really expensive. Why is the guitar $2,000? It's not even, it looks like half a guitar wise, but it's an ergonomic guitar. So that cutout fits right here. It's super light. There's certain carving, there's expensive pickups in it, there's no headstock. It is a really kind of futuristic modern guitar by a company called Strandberg, and it is, this moon here symbolizes that is an edition of one of my favorite artists named Pliny. So it's called the Strandberg Bowden, and this is the 6-string variation. Okay, and so when I bought that guitar, it was expensive. But why in the world, I can get a guitar for $500. Why did you spend 4 times that amount on that guitar? Because I'm enthusiastic as a musician, and I'm happy to spend more on a better instrument. And so if I'm in pain as a musician, if I'm getting blisters on my fingers, or I'm getting, what would be pain that I'm in as a musician? I have some signal, like it's driving me towards a better option that fixes me and gets me out of pain, but usually linked to speed. How quickly can you fix this for me? When enthusiasm and passion is the basis of the customer's drive to go find a product and think through your own experience. What are some of your favorite things to shop for, favorite things to buy if you're a gamer? Wouldn't you want a more expensive chair? Wouldn't an awesome gaming chair be awesome? Simple as that, right? And so we can just break it down to it's exciting to buy things that we like. And so if I can go into a market where the customer starts from that point, this is something that I like to buy, I'm immediately at an advantage as a seller, because all I have to do is leverage their own excitement back at them and just build to a point at which I'm just reflecting everything they already love. I'm just a mirror for the customer. And that's what a brand is actually just a mirror for a person's own identity. So when we believe in brands, we believe in them because we feel understood by them. And we feel like they're kind of North Stars for our own characters in life, which is kind of an interesting way of looking at it. Okay, so the first thing is looking for customers, not products. Again, we're talking about Amazon FBA from the perspective of someone who sells their own products on Amazon, not reselling or wholesaling, of course. And so moving on how to get better at Amazon, the first thing is customers, not products. Find your customer first. Find a person who is ignited with passion and enthusiasm towards something. They will pay more for it. And now prove it. So prove it is always step 2. And prove it comes in the form of go find products that already sell at high prices in your market that don't necessarily live up to that high price. But if there's a premium price bracket in a market, that's all you now have to compete with. So if you go, okay, I'm going to be one of the best sellers in this price range, I'm going to be a premium brand, I'm going to leverage that customer's enthusiasm and passion, then just go get proof that someone sells at $49.99 in a market where everyone's at $19, everyone's at $30, but yet they do well. Okay, so now when you list at $49.99, you're not even competing with everyone else. You're literally just competing with that seller. So as long as you know that your value prop is more unique and better than that seller, and that your listing's built more for conversion, again, get to that in a second, than that seller, then you've automatically kind of won in this game of premium price point. Okay? So that's where brand building comes into play. It's not that the product costs 5 times more to create and so you charge 5 times more. No, it's that when I venture into selling a premium product, I'm now selling a story and not just a product. So instead of just trying to sell a product and then selling a feature, I'm selling to a person and I'm selling that person a story. Okay, so getting better at Amazon part 2. I don't need to keep reiterating the point of the video, but you must understand these things, because I suffered for so long trying to get this stuff right, and I finally have gotten to a place where I built a made in the USA Amazon FBA brand that actually does everything I'm talking about in this video. I actually sell on Amazon. It's not just some crazy lunatic talking here. Prove it. Someone already exists there. You're going to go take their throne, and now do your math and double check your math. And so that's where I start looking into things like conversion rate. I start looking into profitability, industry average return rates. Get to know what you're going to have to track. What are the core KPIs that should be tracked, right? Price history, industry conversion rate, industry return rate. There's more. Probably not thinking of them right now. Some easy ones probably left on the table. And then the certifications, the regulations required to this industry, the barriers to entry. What does it take to get in? What does the math look like? And how do I fight that person in the premium bracket? Ideally, you go into an old and boring market, which, how can you get better? Well, you can get better by working with people who make you better, a mentor, a coach, a course, right? Or you can get better by hanging out with people that suck. What do I mean by that? Well, by direct comparison, when you surround yourself with people that are awesome, you're actually worse. When you surround yourself with people that suck, you're much better. So I can go into an Amazon market where people are actually not selling at a level at which I'm going to sell to, aka old and boring. No one's being disruptive. No one has cool branding or creative. And then just be the only one that does that. So by raising myself in that market, everyone else makes me better. Okay, does that make sense? Just the contrast between everyone around me is boring, I stand out like a sore thumb if I'm cool. Versus if I go into kind of like a trendy, disruptive fad market, it doesn't even have to be fad, just any market, even if it's evergreen, but has some players with money there in terms of the sellers, not just the customers, but like other disruptive sellers with great creative, working with agencies, coming up with cool value props and come up with a great product design. They now lower the excitement over your product because now it's being compared, instead to an old and boring product, to that other disrupting product. Does that make a lot of sense? It better make a lot of sense, not just some sense, because that's how I built my brand. Right? I literally just went into an old boring market, but I told you my product that you'd laugh. You would probably laugh at me because it's so old and boring it hurts. But I'm an exciting product in this old and boring market. And so I have that great contrast, and people see my product, they have to know more about it, and so they click on it. Okay, have to know more about it and they click on it. That brings me to probably another point in this video. It's stupid. When someone sees your product on the home page, they have started a sales funnel process. So there's impressions and there's clicks and there's ad carts and there's purchases. So we want to move people through our sales funnel. And so when I make a main image, I'm not just making a main image on the background, woohoo. Everything about that image, the product name that's biggest on the packaging related to the keyword for great product market fit, and high contrast packaging where a color theme was built off of the opposite of what already exists in that market. So there's high contrast, my eye gets drawn to it. All of that plays into why someone even clicked in the first place. So we have to get them to click to buy. Okay. And so once they click, you've optimized your main image. This is now your chance to sell a story. Don't just sell the product. They already know they need the product. They searched for the product. So now get them to buy your product. So a story, it just means I'm involved with you. You're telling the story. I'm engaged with you. Okay? I got an itchy ass nose. Come on. A click starts that process. Now you can actually sell to them. Before that, they can't even buy. There's not even a buy button. It's just they have to get to this point. And so then set up your listing in a way in which it doesn't just sell features. It's not just slideshows of features that we did better than everyone. It's here's my main image, and then the first thing you see from me is my brand character introduction or my story arc. I'm going to start the process of getting you engaged with me. So for me, it's my hashtag in a stunning shot of my photo in the essence of why I built it, right? And I actually have a brand character. So it's a brand character introduction, literally with like an edgy background. Okay. And then I go straight into selling them on the value propositions that I spent all this time developing to make this product better for this enthusiast customer. So I hit them back to back with 2 infographics. After those 2 infographics, I show them some stunning photography of the product to give them a little bit of reprieve. They've been reading some text, they've been looking, scanning, learning about the product. Now just show the product in action for 2 photos. And then finally close the show out with a call to action image. The call to action might literally say, buy now. Now I have a great example of this. My listing, it says, looking for the world's best blank, buy now. And I took a screenshot of the buy now button and I point an arrow at it, right? And then it's like, not looking for the, or not, not looking for the world's best blank, then why are you here? You're weird. Literally, I just say that, and that's my call to action. So it's another chance to get them to smile a little bit, get them involved in my story a little bit, and move a percentage of them towards the buy now button, which I think has directly correlated to why we ended up having a 19% conversion rate. Literally this past 30 days, 19% conversion rate. It's one of the highest it's been so far. We have repeat customers coming back and around, but it's something I continuously keep working towards. Sometimes around 15%, we got to 16, 17. We just hit a 19% conversion rate month. So getting better at selling on Amazon. New sellers get blown around in the wind. Great sellers build systems, and they build systems that sell. And so sales systems. And so I have a customer in mind first. I know what they need. I give them what they need, and I tell them a great story to get them to buy it. Okay, a little bit like a salesman for a product is kind of inflating the feeling of having the product already, not just listing features of the product Any good salesperson would know that, right? So you already made this decision. I'm going to talk to you as if you have already invested in this, and here's what your life looks like now. And so we can use all these sales tricks to get people moving slowly towards that conversion button. And by the way, when someone clicks and then purchases, they still don't have the product. So everything that a better Amazon seller does is convincing, is persuasion. It's all sales, it's all persuasion, it's all getting the customer to move through your funnel to a purchase. And then how good the product is determines that social proof that you get that lets that continue to work. So you have to have a great product, that's a given, because if people get it and it's actually bad and you made them feel like it was going to be good, well, they get buyer's remorse, right? And they want to return it. They might even want to leave a bad review. And so great Amazon sellers simply understand their customers. They make good offers to their customers, and then they get in front of their customers everywhere that they hang out with a great story and convince them to buy. And if that story isn't convincing them anymore, they change the story. They add new characters to the story. They change their creative, right? It's an ongoing process, and it's kind of like blossoming that must take place. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one if you haven't already. And if you need any help whatsoever, take my free 7-day challenge down below this video to explain this process a little more in depth and tell you more about my Made in USA brand. So thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.